afternoon, everyone. My name is Donnie Glover, a resident of Sandtown, and we're here today to talk about Sandtown, some of the challenges, some of the solutions, what we can do to work together, how we can make this 72 square blocks, and technically it's called Sandtown, Winchester, how we can make this 72 square blocks better. We're going to bring on some people who are going to share with us some of the history of the Sandtown Winchester Transformation Project. And that history goes way back into the 90s, lasted through roughly 2000. And since then, for the past 20 years, we've not seen much at all, quite frankly. Community associations, the ones that we had died. The community development corporations, the ones that we had, they died and disappeared. And so what we are left with is a very challenged community that's been neglected, that's been overlooked. There are elected officials who would suggest that they don't come here because of their perceived low voter turnout. I find that to be a joke. Back in 2008, when Obama was elected, the school across the street from my house, the former William Penderhughes, matter of fact, Michael Randolph, we need you on this show. I know you're down in Florida, but you got some information. There's the link right there, Michael Randolph. Pull up that old link right there. But not much has happened as of late. A lot of, and I think a big challenge is attrition. A lot of people have died. Some people have moved on. But there are those of us who do remain. There are those of us who are still concerned about the future of Sandtown, Winchester, how to make it better. And let me just say, this presentation is a response to a online meeting that was held back on Monday. The master plan process was announced. It was a kickoff. And so this is in response because it was, I think, 88 people on the call representing Sandtown and Sandtown and Harlem Park. But as we all know, there are thousands of people that live in these neighborhoods. And so what we're interested in is making sure that the everyday person who has access to the internet can get, some insight, some varying opinions, insight, varying perspectives on Sandtown, the challenges we face, and solutions to our issues. So we do have a young man online, and he wants to share some information regarding a program he is doing, and he thinks it would be a solution. What happened to you? A solution to some of the challenges. Clearly, employment is a challenge here. And so let me just say, if anyone out there is looking for a job in Sandtown, I want you to give me a call personally. And I'm going to, particularly young people, young adults who are having a challenge finding a job, we have a couple of spots that will put you to work immediately. We have some jobs people who will help you find work immediately. If you're in Sandtown and you need a job, call me. I don't know who else you have been calling. But let's get your ball rolling. We have a number of contacts of people more than willing to help you get a job. And if we can get one person employed today, if we can get one person's house saved, if we can get one person some empowering information about water bills or what have you, then we will do that. But here's my personal number right here. For anyone trying to catch up, there it is right there. Oops, there it is. Michael Randolph, cut your camera on. You got to cut your camera on. Michael Randolph was heavily involved in the initial Sandtown Winchester effort years ago. Michael Randolph, you got a camera on there? We ain't doing audio alone. We do video. There's a button down the bottom that says camera. Click that button and connect your camera. And I know this technology is challenging, but this is what we've got to do amidst COVID. Now, let me just say, we also very much want to have a community meeting, but I'm not pushing anything out there in the general public. That's just not what I'm going to do. So, Michael Randolph, if you're listening and you want to join us, you have to connect your camera. Thus far, we can't get you on. Darius, how are you?
I'm sorry. Somehow I got kicked off. I'm back.
What's the history behind this program?
I'm reminding you.
The history about this school is we believe that Baltimore needs hope. Like, we believe that Baltimore needs something different. Everybody said there was no opportunities, or the teachers gave up on them, or, you know what I'm saying, no one helped them reach the success. We want to bring success back to Baltimore. We want to bring success back to our community. We want to bring success back to not being racist, but back to our Black folks, you know, because I'm tired of hearing white money. I want to hear Black money. I want to hear successful. Even if you going to be on the block, I want you to buy your block up, you know what I'm saying, and have something behind you that can fulfill you and not just out here killing and hurting, and, you know what I'm saying? Like, I believed in this with my whole life. Like, we're better than what they're trying to say. We just dope or this or killing. Like, we're more than this. We're smart, man. And if you just needed the opportunity, or you just needed somebody behind you, or you just needed support, or you just needed whatever you may need, that's what we're trying to give you here. Our meeting.
How did you get involved?
So I got involved. This guy, Wayne Baker, he's been doing this for 10 years now, okay? I was like, okay, one day I want to save the world. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know how I'm going to do this. So this guy, he was like, yo, I got somebody you want to meet. Come meet him. He's like, pitch your thing. So I went there to pitch me being a culinary instructor. But once I got to the meeting and I heard him talk and he said everything I ever said, man, I ran with it, man. I was out in the city doing interviews, doing this. Like, now I'm a decision maker. Like, now I'm getting it accredited. Now I'm going to the mayors. Now, as you can see, I'm talking to y'all on Everbright. You know what I'm saying? I'm the face of this right now. You know,
what's your story? Where are you from, Darius? What's your background?
I'm from Poplar Grove and Duke. I've been there my whole life over west from the Poplar Grove and Riggs area. I was a demon for a while, but then I went to culinary school. I was a chef for 16 years. I started my own company by 28. I ended that company by 30. I accomplished all my dreams by about 30. And I was lost. I was like, what the fuck I'm supposed to do next?
Oh, we can you hold that language down?
I'm sorry. But I was just speaking, I got emotional with it. I'm sorry. But I was so confused and I was so lost. I was like, God, give me my next step. And in the midst of a bunch of turmoil, he just dropped it on me. He was like, yo, you were meant to save the world. I mean, I'm not gonna go too deep with it, but like, I've been through unreasonable crazy things, and I've made it through in a positive light, and people just generally feel comfortable talking to me, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a bunch of different things. I'm like, you know what, maybe I can help save the world. I mean, not in like no superhero type of way, obviously, but in the realistic thing, all it takes is one person to do one thing and it causes a chain reaction. You can change the world.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Marvin States, you're not gonna be throwing out. I ain't posting your comments all day. Hit that button and stop playing. We have some regulars that come on this show and they have their own shows, and they know better. They want to share a bunch of comments, Darius. We want them to come on and chime in. If you're from Sandtown, if you're concerned about Sandtown, the link is over on the side. We're talking about challenges, but more importantly, solutions to the things. So Darius, you would seemingly have a good way. I sent you the link. Tate's want a lot of special attention. Tate, you got to learn how to copy and paste. You know, we got Darius. I want you to teach a class on copy and paste.
By September. But right now, ain't no funding right here. This is all up. And yeah, we gonna get our funding. We got, you know what I'm saying? I'll meet with the mayor. It's May the 6th. Why could you hear myself? Is it me or you? But right now, Ain't no funding right here. This is all up. Yeah, we got our funding. We got, you know what I'm saying? I'll meet with the mayor, meet the I can hear myself. But right now, ain't no funding right here. This is all up. Yeah,
Michael, can you hear me?
Right now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cut that. You're watching it live. You have to cut that off.
Okay, I got you. Hold on.
And where your shirt at, man?
Come up with the old heads on Poplar Grove and Dukeland. Same there. Same bridge. Same Wells Bar. Bebop. Lil Wayne. Shorty Gang.
Marty.
Yeah.
We are talking about Sandtown, okay? I want you to come back. So just bear with me a second, Marty. Hold tight, killer. Hold tight.
Okay, you not in the screen, Donnie. Don't nobody see you now but yourself.
I don't know what you watching. What I'm watching, I'm in the screen. So
what about you, Darius? Do you see Donnie?
I see Donnie though. I ain't gonna lie to you. Okay. I see Donnie.
We see Marty can only see out of one eye.
Mike, do you see Donnie too?
Hey Marty, let me do my job now. Michael
I'm saying, Donnie, your thing is blank to me.
I love Marty. I love Marty.
Yeah.
I love him too. Michael Randolph, how you doing?
Man, I'm blessed. Every day I'm blessed.
And where are you, Michael Randolph?
So right now I'm in Tampa, Florida.
Hey, Marty, I know you're not eating on this show.
I'm here by
I don't even know where you at. I'm talking to a blank screen, Jack.
Well, we see you eating. How about that? Stop eating on the show.
Come on, boy. I got 10 minutes to give you, Jack. Come on now. Come on now. I'm jumping in here trying to help out. Yeah. You feeling me? Now, you know this part of my day. All
right. So, Michael Randolph, tell me about that transformation process.
Well, actually, Donnie, if you go back to Sandtown, 1990, the empowerment zone, the whole strategy that was created by the empowerment zone had promise. However, it didn't have promise in this current form in Sandtown. What I did when I came to Tampa, I used that same thought pattern, holistic, comprehensive, and one that integrates and transforms residents by empowering residents and not organizations.
So what's been the success of that?
Oh, well, I'm going to send you some information on the West Tampa CDC. So let me give you a little bit of information about West Tampa CDC when I came here. So it's a predominantly African-American community, but the power structure was such that it was ran by everybody but blacks. So my task when they brought me here was to put together a strategy.
Hey, look, Mike, stop shaking the cameras. You bouncing. Stay still. Okay.
Well, you know.
Passion now, boy.
Now I got you. Let me tell you why, because it's in my lap, right? Again, I had a minute notice to try to prepare for this.
Hey, Michael, you've been preparing for this for 30 years. Stop that. Why y'all keep talking to me like I'm Bobo the Clown?
No. Listen up. Technology-wise, that's the reason why the thing was bouncing up. I was talking to that as it relates to that. But just to go back to what I'm saying, what we didn't know, we know that there are strategies that can be used to not only reduce violence, the murder that we see in our cities, increase people that have no skills with skills, build what we call a hood to a realist mentality. See, understanding that a community is no more than a geographic area. And all of our focus has been on communities instead of the realist concept. We have to build a village. Now, once we build a village, what is so important in poor communities, we have to create wealth, generational wealth. That's what we don't have in poor communities. And most programs are focused towards workforce development and not starting your own business and not understanding Wall Street. Under our strategy, we build wealth in two ways. First, we show that anybody can start a business. even if you got a criminal record, even if you're disabled. And guess what? You're going to make more money because you got more protections if you did a business.
Michael?
Secondly, I'm sorry, someone was about to jump in.
I just want to say something quick. I agree with you, what a lot of you saying, but everybody not meant to be a leader. Everybody not meant to be a business.
I'm not finished yet.
Okay.
Because I might address what your concern is when I'm finished up.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have cut you off. You're right.
No, that's okay, my brother. I'm happy that you're here because guess what? We solving our problem when brothers like us come to the table and talking about strategy.
No, yeah, because your program is like my program. That's why I was feeling you.
Okay. Well, let me give you the see what we do and our strategy is how do we change neighborhoods? We change neighborhoods by what's called Community Development Corporation. That's the model. Community Development Corporation is a different type of entity that gets money specifically from the government. Unfortunately, most of the community development corporations in Baltimore are not geared up to really bring about change from the street level. But the model community development, when we use that, is important because that's how you bring in the dollars. That's a specific set of money set aside for organizations that do CDCs in communities. Let's take Sandtown. Sandtown had a CDC at one point, but it dissolved. If the CDC was still in Sandtown, all of the drugs, all of the vacant houses, and those other things wouldn't be there. Because what would happen is that the CDC will create itself using residents. That is 51% of the board of directors has to be residents. And they create what we call a business model. Are you familiar with Sandtown, all those vacant houses?
Very well.
Everybody looking at those vacant houses, and what do they see?
Vacant houses.
We don't. We see money. We see.
I see money. I see money, but everybody don't see money.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's the strategy. You and I think alike.
Yeah.
I see money. I see how.
I look around Baltimore. I see money.
Yeah, and that's the attitude you have to start with. See, not everybody, like you say, my brother, I agree. Not everybody start like us with a business model. But if you want to change our communities, you have to start with a business model. When a white boy comes, what he see?
This is why I don't agree with you. Money. You got to start with changing their mindset.
That's true.
You can bring anything to anywhere. But if the person don't have a mindset that's stuck on failure, they will never create nothing.
But that goes.
That's where my program comes from. That's where my program comes in.
And I go with you on that. That's why the first part of the strategy is called the realist mentality. Moving from the hood to the village. Because once you take that man mind from the hood mentality to a street mentality, then you're going to bring about a lot of positive results. Not only self, because self have to understand that while I'm here, but the world's bigger than me. So I have to think in terms of.
If you ever noticed my second part of my program, we buying up vacants.
Good. That's how you do it. So we don't have to do that. I think what you're doing, my brother, is A plus. But what we need, like you and I, we need 10,000s of us all over the place.
No, you need one strong person that motivates everybody.
Yeah, but in reality, it's not. That's why we do training. Here's our belief. We believe in doing the training necessary to create people like you. Because we believe that in order to create change, you have to build the capacity in every poor community. Okay, now in Baltimore, you got it going, but in New York, it's not like that. In Chicago, it's not. In a lot of communities, it's not. So unless we begin to look at how do we train our neighborhood to create individuals just like you, because in every neighborhood, and how do we highlight those groups? Because we also do the funding part and help them in terms with resources, with funding, as well as that.
All you have to do is reverse their mind, because remember, we were strong. We got broken somewhere. All you gotta do is break that mindset that we got beat down with, and they tell us we wasn't good enough, or we would never make it through school, or we wasn't this and we wasn't that. All we gotta do is break that.
See,
Get you back to remember how strong you are. Get you back to remember how successful you are.
I believe that in order to do that, we first have to go back to Africa. We have to take people to where it used to be before we got here to the United States. They have to understand the concept of village. Right now, in the United States, the only thing we understand is the concept of capitalism. So once you take them back there, and I don't mean literally take them back there, but show them their wealth and then bring them back and say, now, this is when we're going to start having a conversation because now you know your greatness. Everything that you learn in the United States, schools teach you to be bad. Everybody teach black people to be bad.
In Baltimore, you're not going to win that way. Because people in Baltimore will be like this. Because think about it. I'm be real with you. Baltimore is honestly designed for you to stay savage. You get more money for not working. You know what I'm saying? More kids you have, you get more money. You know what I'm saying? You literally have cops on the trap, on the corner of the trap. Why should you trap? And won't do shit. Because Baltimore is really designed.
First, I don't believe anything is.
Language, Darius, language.
I'm sorry.
I believe anything can change. Now, when you
I believe
talk about how Baltimore is, it has the same characteristics as other neighborhoods. How drugs, how crime, a government that don't care, the so-called gatekeepers don't let people in. All of those things are the same in most communities. Your strategy is how do we, given that particular reality, how do we work around it and make it happen for us? And you do that again by looking at it from a business model. If I was in Sandtown, the first thing I would do, all those vacant houses, look, we want to put together a strategy where we create a community development corporation that is responsible for identifying all those vacant houses and responsible for example, rehabbing those houses or rebuilding those houses. And guess where the money come at? That's where the money go at once we do that. It goes right back into the community to fund construction of business, to fund crime,
you trying to build people
to fund all of those things.
They have their own business, right? Now, if they never held their own job, how the fuck can they have their own business? I'm sorry.
That's not true, man. You teach it, man. That's how you do it. See, one thing we do is teach people how to start that business. That's nobody I've ever ran against, from a zero education to a professional education that couldn't be taught to start a business. That's what we got to start with. Any man, no matter where that man is, if you give him the proper training from a business perspective, you can change that man, and that man can't start a business.
Let me just step in for a second. Mike, can you adjust your camera? Because you all the way down the bottom. We can barely see you. Adjust your camera.
Let me see.
Yeah, that's fine. And can you turn it out that daylight? There you go. That's a lot. But turn it down a little bit. Your head all the way down the bottom. See what my head is?
Let me see. I'm trying to figure this out, Donnie. Give me a second, because I'm doing this from a webcam. Let's see if I can. Man, this thing is not going to let me get up.
All right, well, stay right there. Stay right there. Stay right there. Okay. All right, then we got a friend of yours that's coming in here.
Oh, Joy.
Pull your camera down a little bit more. Are you laying down?
Nope, I'm in a recliner.
Oh, well, you might want to sit. You ain't got no light? Where you at?
Yeah, I got light. I'm not a cave dweller. Is that better?
Jerry Cross, you have the floor.
Peace and blessings, my brothers. How's everybody today?
All right.
Good. How you doing, Jerry?
Mike tonight?
I'm good, man. It's good to see you. Straight up.
Yeah. Man, I thought you'd be crispy black down there in that sun like that.
I tell you, man, look, the only thing about Tampa, other than racism, man, is that when it get hot, it gets stupidly hot.
I know.
I mean, stupidly
that's
hot.
Florida.
Right, definitely. They call it the Sunshine State, but man, there's so much racism down here. That's why our strategy is really working. It's showing it's not racism, it's how you deal with the problem.
I'm sorry, Mike. Are you from Baltimore, right?
Sandtown, by way of Sandtown, right?
Okay.
I've lived in Sandtown 40 years.
Okay.
Yeah, he was one of our own.
And all my family, as a matter of fact, all my family and everybody I love is from Sandtown. Oh, from
How the
Baltimore,
wife-
that is.
How did your son faring?
Huh?
How your son doing?
Oh, both of them, God be good, man. Both of them are doing okay. One is working with John Hopkins. He wants to be a chef. The other, he's doing IT. He's going around the country with this company and doing IT with him and his partner. But what I suggest to him, as I suggest to any black man, look, man, let me put you together so you can start your own business.
That's the thing.
Take what you know and start your own business.
That's the way to fly.
So that's what I'm trying to. And my other son, who's a chef, I'm trying to tell him, look, man, you got enough skills. Now let me work with you so you can start your own business.
Yeah, he just
We don't do that
started
enough, man. In this society, man, we're based on consumerism. I don't even want to talk about how many times we look at TV and commercials every day. I don't even want to go there.
That's basically what we get from our parents.
Yeah, we got it from our parents, man. But guess what, man? Our parents was brought up on consumerism. Let me tell you how critical this is, man, and then I'm gonna shut up. When you look at a TV and when you see some people buying things, what you do? You smile, you happy. You see those happy people? That's how they buy. What is it called when they get in your mind? Simplistic. I forgot the term they use. They're actually getting you wired up to spend your money. So when you spend your money, you happy.
No, that's
but an
materialism.
investor is different. An investor is only smiling if his money is making money. That's the
Michael.
Let me pose this. Let me just interject this one thing. I hear you talking about starting a business. I hear you talking about vacants, but don't you want to mention home ownership first and foremost?
Well, I think starting your own business, Dan, it can lead to home ownership in a lot of cases. A lot of cases, people don't have the credit necessary to buy a house. But
Michael.
you do have the necessary skills to start a job.
Michael,
this
I
conversation.
started my own business. Okay? I'm going to tell you real shit. I started my own business. That's not an easy task. I'm sorry about language.
Darius, we got children watching, and that's why
I'm sorry.
Okay, we keep a
certain level. I started my own business. I'm gonna tell you how hard that is. Between getting the LLCs and starting up and getting your first company and getting your business, getting your place, getting your staff, trying to pay them, and first couple years you don't make no money. I almost drowned my family trying to start a business. Starting a business is not something that everyone can just do because you think it's a cool thing. It's not an easy task at all.
See, I don't have a disconnect with you. We're not in disagreement. See, I teach people in the projects how to start a business. So if you can teach people that live in a project to start a business, you can teach anybody.
How much is the average rent?
Average, somewhere in the neighborhood of $900 to $1,200.
$800.
That's more than enough to pay a mortgage. Period. End of story.
Most questions. No question.
And there's more than there are more than one ways to buy a house. You don't have to always go through traditional lending. In the paper all the time or on the streets, people have signs in their windows says for sale by owner. So you don't always have to go the traditional route of buying a house.
But I agree with you, Danny. I agree with you. The only thing I'm saying is that simply because you're poor and you can't buy a house, don't mean you can't start a business, improve your credit, and then go buy the house. Sometimes
have you started a business, Michael?
Different ways to get there.
Have you started a business, Michael?
I have my business, but then not only do I start business, I teach businesses.
What's your LLC?
Do me a favor. Go to my Facebook page and check me out. And you'll see I'm working with especially poor people from poor communities to start their own business. Because the one thing I teach them, like don't think you're going to start a business and everything going to be rosy. No, you don't make no money in your first year. And we teach them that. We prepare them for success.
Okay,
so
Michael,
you're going to poor people to not make no money.
Hold tight.
They live in the projects, man. These people's income is like almost zero.
Michael, are you here? Are you listening to me? We want to go to Jerry Cross.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And get some ideas on challenges and solutions for Sandtown.
Cool. Go for it.
Jerry dragged me into the process in 1994, and he was doing it before then. Jerry, we'd love to hear your thoughts.
Challenges. The biggest challenges. The biggest challenge in Sandtown is wrapped around two things: education and substance abuse. You know, our young people that are in schools are not being adequately taught. The schools are not getting the support from the parents and the community in order to push forth the most challenging subjects for them to be successful in life so that they can go the route of business and home ownership. You know, and the disillusion based on the education is what generally leads to the substance abuse, along with the other factors of, you know, the environment. If you're not, if the schools are not getting the support from the families and the communities, ergo that's where your first start of disenfranchisement occurs. People, I mean, children, just have a lost hope of ever getting out of that neighborhood. You know, and after the education and whatnot, then you got to establish some pride in the community, some pride in the individuals, uh, pride in the school you go to, the neighborhood you live in, the home you growing up in, you know, and there are a lot of substance abuse issues because of mental health issues. We can't get away from that. And the thing that are all these children that has all of these anger issues because of where they live or the things they don't have or the clothes that are not up to the standard that their friends are. Um, that are help foster their anger, which are that's what they generally attach the mental health to. Because the kid is angry and whatnot, the first thing we need to do is start medicating him. He's bipolar because he get mad and he don't know how to express himself except through violence and acts of aggression. You know, so the one thing that I learned while being involved in that renovation project, almost 30 years ago in Sandtown, where I thought of drugs was the issue. I learned that education and individual community pride, knowledge of oneself, and means and ways to go have your health taken care of at the onset. You know, and I a lot of people brush off um, kids that are angry in the first and second grade because he's not been taught how to express his anger or he's not been taught how to let go his disappointments. We understand that's a part of life and whatnot, but we talking about people who only get a negative perception of because of their economical background. This is the way they should behave. You know, we don't have the resources that the Cosbys have when the Cosby Show was on. So we more like of good times and whatnot, except that in good times they had this holier than thou attitude, like they didn't think no negative thoughts, that they was going to be the best people that they could be, even though they had not. And that's just not reality.
Now, I went around Baltimore. I've done a lot of research. Okay, So this is my research results. But before I say my research results, just because we didn't have the opportunities don't mean the information wasn't there. The information was still there. We could
Yeah,
have searched
but it was there, but was it there sitting on the shelf or was it being
But
distributed?
is anything that's worth having just going to be sitting on the shelf for you?
Well,
It's not.
education is worth having, but it was sitting on the shelf for me. It
But
wasn't
also, if you would have,
distributed to me.
okay,
Which
I'm
makes it
gonna do my research. I'm gonna get my research result first, because a lot of people around the city, this is what they said. School fucked up for them. I mean, I'm sorry, school messed up for them. I'm sorry, everybody. Where school messed up for them. They said it was a lack of care. Most felt like the teachers could care less. People don't have faith in themselves anymore. They feel like the information was not tailored to them. They just felt dehumanized and why do they need the knowledge? The curriculum was just not broken down enough. The teachers mentally broke them and told them that they would never be nothing and they were not worth even learning. Teachers not showing that they actually care about you. The environment they were was harder, so they had to go to work. School did not prepare them for life experiences. They felt like, for what was the point of going to school? They can just go to work.
What are you talking about? Older children? I'm talking about younger
No,
children.
I went to everybody. It was grown people, young people, old people. I went around Baltimore, asked everybody.
You asked the first, second graders.
I can show you my video. I have.
Yeah, my studies back in the 90s was that the biggest problem in elementary schools was there weren't enough male teachers, and little boys get frustrated with always having to deal with a woman.
That's a cop out. How you
Not
know
cop
a
out,
woman?
That's the reality.
So in second grade, you knew that, I will not learn from a female instead of a man?
No, I didn't say they would not learn. I said that is where they first start their withdrawals from school, because there's a mother at home that's telling them what to do. They get to school and is the principal, the teachers, females telling them what they do. They step out into their neighborhood and society, and it's mostly women telling them what to do. Where is the male counterpart to help build this role model for a little boy to attach to and say, I want to be like him?
A teacher's not supposed to be a parent. They're supposed to be a teacher, though. They're not supposed to teach you to be a role model. No, they're supposed to be your teacher.
No,
so can I jump in for a second? Can I jump in for a second? Because I think that Baltimore is a reflection of most neighborhoods, black neighborhoods throughout the nation. What we have here, folks, is a failure of the system. Educational system is failing.
Agree.
The question is, stop saying about what the system is failing and how does the realers, the community come together and begin to get together, put together a strategy that take care of our kids. Now, we know that every time we go back to Baltimore schools, Tampa schools, it's the same old same. The system is not taking care of us. And that's why I go back to earlier. We have to create a village. In a village, the community take care of its own. And you talk about substance abuse. Let me tell you what's wrong with substance abuse. The problem with substance abuse is you're still using old school approaches. For example, in dealing with substance abuse, there are a lot of new school, because I did the research to show that those organizations that's supposed to help people to stay off of drugs, they fail because their strategy is singlistic and it's not holistic. So that's a major problem. And like I say, the major problem with communities is two: substance abuse and mental health. Deal with the mental health and the substance abuse problem and see how everything else falls into line.
I don't want to sound insensitive right now, but I'm gonna speak facts for a second. The problem with our community is,
you say your facts that you can back it up, because I've got to.
I'm gonna back it up. Let me finish.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The problem with our community is no one want to be accountable for their own goddamn action. I'm sorry, for their own action.
True.
That isn't true.
A lot of people do.
You want to blame? Hold on, Paul. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Dante Blackstone killed about his community.
Can I finish?
A lot of people like Dante. When you make statements like that.
I didn't back my facts up. You didn't let me finish. Can I finish?
No, go ahead.
The reason I say that is,
go ahead.
We've all had a bad child or blah, 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 or past, whatever you want to blame it on. Trump, the community, society, government, opportunities. But the fact of the matter is, all the information that you could have got was still there. It might have been a little harder to get, but it was there. It was there.
See, we could never
win.
We're in
the world of information. Hold on. We're in the world of information.
We could never win. When you come with that attitude about why people not doing it, the question is, how do we make them do it? You want to save our community? Stop talking about that. Talk about how we can solve the problem, not the problem.
I'm telling you how to solve the problem.
Is.
I'm not understanding what you missed my statement. I'm telling you.
Your statement sells the idea that is on the individual.
No. My statement sells the idea on realistic. The information is there.
Because
I've done it. I've been homeless. I've been from nothing. I came from Baltimore. I've done it.
Okay.
So the information was there.
You're one person, and everybody doesn't have your demographics from start to finish.
So let's build that. Let's build that in them.
They're all different. If that was the case, if it was that simple and that easy, everybody be a millionaire.
I never said it was easy. It was hard. It was very hard. But it was accomplishable. It wasn't easy, but it was accomplishable.
So for the person who focuses on, I want to be a basketball player, I want to play in the NBA. You tell him it's there, but he don't have the necessary skills to make it to the NBA. But you want to sit up there and say it's there.
No, I'm gonna say, why would you try to play basketball if you don't got the skills to play basketball?
But that's what he wants. That's what his dream is.
But you're not being realistic with yourself.
That's it. That's it. Being realistic. You can't tell that to a child. He's not being realistic.
That's how I can. If you don't have skills to play basketball, try something else.
And when is he going to accept that he don't have skills? When somebody
maybe you should teach him to be more of a stronger individual and understanding constructive criticism. Son, you don't have skills.
He'll find out when he get cut from 13 and under.
Facts. Teach him how to handle life. That's a different skill. Son, you can't play basketball. It's okay. You might be good at something else.
But
let's
also,
find out what you're better at.
Let me say this, Darius. Parent, it all starts at home. You alluded to that early on. It all starts at home. Part of a parent's job is to identify their children's gifts and talents and strengths and help nurture them. That's a parent's job.
The school is an extension of the home.
No, a school is supposed to teach it.
School is.
It starts at home. It starts at home, though.
It starts at home, but a school is an extension.
No, everyone keeps thinking that school's supposed to be your parent. The school's not supposed to be your parent. Your teacher's not your parent. They're supposed to teach you.
I didn't say that the school was your parent. Teaching you what? Life skills and education. That's what you're supposed to get from school. Life skills and education. An extension of your home. That is
but they're not supposed to be your mentors.
Say what?
They're not supposed to be your mentors. They're not supposed to be your therapists. They're not supposed to be your counselors. They're supposed to be your teachers. And that's if you stay in class in the first place. That's if you stay in class.
So can I just jump in real quick? One quick observation. We can't base everything on our own self-experience. Because soft data. We're basing our self-experience, and we try to. And some kind. I'm sorry, Jai. What was you saying?
I'm saying I'm not talking about my self-experience.
No, not you, Jai. I'm responding to the other guy. Jai, I'm responding to the other guy.
Oh.
Yeah, him, because he got so many personal feelings tied up in this, and he's got soft data, but he doesn't have what we call qualitative or hard data. How do you support? It's all about the science. When you make a claim as to what you're making, how do you support that with hard data, with quantitative data?
What was wrong yet? There wasn't data.
Other than that, man, we have a problem with people like that. We take an emotional person that has one experience, and we try to create a whole program around that one idea. That's why we fail. We have to do the science. If anything we learn from Donald Trump, it's got to be based on the facts and not your personal experience. Your personal
So we don't live in a world of information
only
right
as it
now.
relates to science.
What have I said that was a lie?
I'm not understanding.
You don't want to accept it, but it's just facts.
What?
It's facts.
No, well, understand about facts.
The fact
The only
is
thing
that
about
you
facts is it
were
depends
wrong.
on who's telling it.
I can tell you.
That's the thing about facts.
I can tell you
Sometimes, most
all
times,
that.
facts are what we call opinions. There's a difference between an opinion and a fact.
I can
That's
tell
why
you
So
we
you're
do
telling me
qualitative
that
research.
you cannot go get any information that you want right now.
no.
You can't YouTube anything you want to learn right now.
No, the thing.
No, man, you keep on going to YouTube, man. If you want to research it, go
If I need to change my tire, I can YouTube how to change my tire. Can I figure it out?
Not going to help you. You're going to be
You're
just as
talking
crazy
about
as you
it
want
as
on
We're
YouTube.
talking
But you're
about
trying to give a bunch of poor people a business.
A bunch of poor people. See, that's your attitude. I'm trying
That's
to
what
get
you said. I'm gonna go to the
I'm
poor
trying to get
community
a bunch
and
of
give them a
people
business.
that want a way out. Not
Michael,
poor people. They want a
Michael,
way out because people
Michael,
don't believe in them.
Michael, the young brother he has a good concept. And well, hold up, Mike. Hold up.
I'm 100% behind him, man. I'm not
Mike,
knocking that, brother.
Mike,
I love him.
Mike, we got to listen to each other better. We all do. I'm a poor listener, and this show helps me to listen better. He has great ideas, and maybe he could get your number, you could get his number, and we can talk offline because we all bring something to the table. Let me also add this. He mentioned YouTube. You're older than me. I'm 55. Darius, what you, like 30, 35?
31.
31. Okay.
I'm 65 and I'm happy.
Okay. Listen to me, Mike.
I got a $64,000 question, Darius.
His generation uses the computer like ours never will. That's all I'm saying.
But
What it is, Donnie, I'm not saying YouTube's not good, but I'm saying
Mike, share the ball. Go ahead, Jerry.
In the event that you don't or can't, for whatever reason, access YouTube or anything else based on electronic technology, what will you do?
There's libraries, there's books. It's not just about YouTube. You can go to the library, there's books. You can research, you can read. There's infinite information out here. It's there. Just because it's not always easy accessible don't mean it's not there.
Okay,
that's my point I'm making.
So how will you learn about libraries?
Huh?
How will you learn about libraries?
You walk past 3 libraries every street you walk past. It's a free library downtown. It's one on Sandtown. It's one on the corner.
But how will you even be aware that a library exists?
Your school got a library. I'm pretty sure you have to take library in school.
Back to the school.
So now you're trying to make an excuse that you don't know what a library is?
No,
is that your argument?
Make no excuse. I'm trying to go back to the fact that I said from the start. It starts at home, and the school is the extension. A school is supposed to foster and blossom and bloom whatever it is that you're getting from home. A school is supposed to help grow that. That's the extension of a school. Whatever you're getting at home, a school is supposed to channel and help it blossom and grow. Because a school is the second most place a child will spend the bulk of his time at. He's either home or he's at school. That's where he will spend the better part of his life in his first 18 years. So if the school is not an extension of home, if the school is not the mentor, the educator, the mental health person, and all of that, if you're not getting it from school, there's a gap.
Why would you get your mental health and everything else from school? Then what are you learning?
Darius,
because that's what a school is for.
That's true, Darius. A teacher, look, they assess our children by the age of 8. They can tell who's going into regular curriculum and who is going into special ed, who is going on Ritalin. They determine that by the age of 8. Correct, Michael?
Oh, 100%. Oh, yeah.
So the school it's not the everything.
That's the problem. Right.
The school is a part of it. The school, Darius, there was a time when we were like this because of segregation. We were forced, everything was right here in the community. But when integration happened over the past 50 years, our best and brightest started leaving to Randallstown, going to Essex, going to Towson. So what's left in Sandtown are those who can't afford to move or those that just love it here. And so here we are. So give me some more solutions there, Michael Randolph. Mike, you still with us?
Mike out.
Now, I agree with you. Now, the school does assessments and everything, but what I say is the teachers have a very hard time of keeping these kids focused in the first place.
Look at Sandtown, man. I see so many potential.
Mike, he was talking.
The teachers have a hard time.
Michael, I don't know. Michael, I don't know what's
your mic was off and you come on jumping right in the middle of Darius' comment.
Hold on 1 second.
The teachers have a hard time of keeping these kids focused, attentive, and even having the ability to want to be there.
There's the solution.
Okay? They have a hard time with that, and they don't have dyslexia or a trouble with learning anything. That makes it 10 times harder. So then you want to also add on being a mentor and a this and that. Come on now.
That's all.
They don't get paid that much for it.
All that's supposed to occur. And let me tell you, there's a solution.
I'm gonna be honest.
There's a solution for that. We have a school that started in 1995 on the corner of Gilmore and Pressman Street. A school where the 90% of the teachers were white. 99% of the students were black. They all came from in and around Sandtown. What the model that they put together is that children find it a hard time to sit still for 70s.
Excuse me.
Up until the start of the 70s, I was in school. So it was like that. I had at the elementary school, the teachers lived in my neighborhood. See, when I got out of school, my mother sent me to the market. I go past my first grade teacher house and my fourth grade teacher house. Because of those relationships of having been in their class, they always watching and commenting on my behavior, as well as
Hello?
How are we
talking about now or back then? Though we're talking about now, right? What we can do now, right?
Does anybody hear me?
Now, but see, that's what I'm saying. Now that school that I talk about at Gilmore and Pressman Street, those teachers live in the neighborhood. Those white, 95% of those teachers, they live in that neighborhood.
But we have to adapt with the times too.
Say what?
We have to adapt with the times.
I'm talking about now. This is going on now. These white teachers live in the neighborhood.
I mean, if they was white or black, would it make a difference?
I think black teachers are more likely to love.
It doesn't make a difference what they race is as long as they live in the neighborhood.
Michael Randolph, you trying to comment with that raggedy computer? Michael, you want to say something?
Okay. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, Michael.
Yeah. You can't hear me?
We can hear you, Michael.
We can hear you ask that question, and that's it. But establish the wisdom to be able to navigate through the multitude of businesses and industries he didn't possess at that time. So I just tried to be a connector for him.
And let me be real with you, Darius. We all, as black men, we all going through something. And Jerry saw some other challenges I had, including substance abuse, chasing all the coke, dope, and rock in town. And he said, "Come here, boy, let me talk to you." And it was a process where I had to begin to look at myself. And something you mentioned earlier, he reminded me of how to be accountable for myself and what I needed to do for myself. So if you get out there and try, somebody's going to see you, and more than likely they will help you. Michael Randolph, you got a better computer. Come on, say something.
Yeah, boy. He got a good computer.
Oh, Michael back. Go ahead, Michael.
Oh, now we can't hear.
Now we can't hear you.
Fix his computer. Turn the mic on, Michael.
Mike, turn your mic on, yo.
You got to cut your mic on, Mike. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Your mic is off. Okay. Well, nonetheless, Mike Randolph and Jerry, they were there at Sandtown doing the work, and they brought me in. And honestly, to meet you today, Darius, you got to see the full circle of this.
Well, let's continue this.
Yes, that's the bottom line. And we're proud of you. We're very proud of you.
So what's your next thing? How can I get connected with you?
Just call me, 443-858.
I'm about to put my phone. 1 second.
Thank you, Dorothy, for your comments. Shakur Ill. Shakur, you told us you would leave. 858-2684. 443-858-2684. The 360. Yes, this is full circle. And Darius, trust and believe, whatever we can do to help you, we certainly will.
You said 443-858-2234?
2684.
Oh, 2684. My bad.
You know, all these talented people that are
oh yeah, I just told you earlier.
That's sitting in the wings on this podcast have skills and knowledge and abilities that I sure like to tap into, because of I really would like to be able to pass on good information to the people I encounter, as when I can say, this is where you go, this brother will help you, this sister will help you, you know, just tell them that you talk to me, and I recommend you come there. So,
Jerry Cross, you know you my hero, man.
No, that's not me. What you see is what's her name? You see Jehovah, because I was nothing but a messenger. Okay. I'm just a messenger.
Okay. Any final thoughts before we get up out of here on a rest and enjoy the rest of this Saturday? But thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Michael Randolph. Thank you for all.
I want to get can you give me a synopsis of what occurred at the Salvation Army meeting? Or can we discuss that at a different time?
No, we concluded it was the first date. For those who may not know, Salvation Army is interested in coming into Sandtown. We had the first date, and I would like to take you on to when we have our second date with them. They're talking about the programs. They never mentioned substance abuse. They did mention the Boys and Girls Club. They did mention, actually, they really didn't get into the programming. It was just, you know, the introductory meeting. I'm gonna be meeting with the chair of the board, John David, Friday, and I will keep you posted. It looks like they're saying the right things. I did share with them that here in Sandtown, we have seen countless organizations do dog and pony shows coming through here, proclaiming to speak for the people, to care about the people. But at the end of the day, what we have seen is executive directors with 6-figure salaries who live in Columbia, who do not live in Sandtown. One thing the chair of the board, John Davis, said is that he's interested in what the residents want. And I say that because we still have organizations claiming to speak for Sandtown, including preachers who don't live here, but they're interested in what the residents want. And we all for the preachers, but we know the games that are played. We know the pimp game. We've seen it too many ways, too many. Father Damien, was he legitimate from the clergy community in Sandtown?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Father Damien, when he came, the church at the corner of Gilmore Baker Street was already closed, and they had just built a little small brick church beside it. And he was the second or the third preacher that they brought in. He ended up being the longest tenured preacher that had existed at St. Gregory's. And even after his passing, they continued with his pet project to build that seniors community center, which now sits at the corner of Gilmore and Baker Street. And I know a lot of people that utilize it, but the one thing that saddens me is that most of the people that utilize it aren't from Sandtown.
Yeah. Yeah. So Michael got a comment in here. Let me share it with you. One, he says the Baltimore experience, what we went through, he's saying, is hey Michael, you putting all of these comments in here. Why don't you just get the microphone to work? Okay.
Tell him dial in. Use his computer to see and then dial in and through the phone.
A bottom-up approach. But that's something, while he's on that note, Jerry, were the residents of Sandtown ever empowered?
In the aspects of obtaining homes and community pride, for the most part, they didn't. And for the housing initiative, community residents were involved. For the youth program, community residents were actively involved. However, the entrepreneurial piece didn't come about. The business piece didn't come about. The home ownership thing was short-lived by enterprise, because once they got up those prefab houses, that was their done deal. Thank the Lord for Habitat, because Habitat is still doing houses now, today.
Hello?
They're still in the neighborhood doing houses.
Hello?
So,
Yeah, we
hear
ain't, Michael.
you now, Mike.
Oh, I solved the problem at the end. But let me throw in real quick. Baltimore offers the promise for the nation. The Sandtown experience served as the blueprint. How do I know this? I took the blueprint from Sandtown, came to West Tampa, and showed what could happen. What was missing in the Sandtown piece? It was never about the residents being financially able to empower their community. It was always about the houses, and the houses made money for the enterprise and not for the community.
I
That
agree.
was the piece that didn't work. If we had that piece right there, was building to community wealth building, the Baltimore process would have been a success. That was the missing element. And people knew at the end that, hey, this is not about us. You say you're going to help us get a job, you're going to empower us, but at the end of the day, it's not our decision. The community really didn't have the empowerment. That's why the West Tampa story is going to talk about how the community does have the power to drive the forces. But it was learned from the Baltimore project. And that's sad because if you want to know the solution, go back to Sandtown. Look at Hotspot Initiative. Look at the Empowerment Zone. Look at all of those initiatives and begin to take from those initiatives. Find out what don't work because it was a good program and fix it.
The empowerment zone didn't work in Sandtown because the politicians refused to get involved.
Now, I agree, Jai. What was good about the empowerment zone, and it used a holistic approach. That's what
Right.
that's what was good.
And the
That's
only
what
reason,
was good.
and the problem that was the factor in Sandtown for us was that none of the politicians lived in Sandtown. So
There you go.
because they
There you
didn't
go.
live in Sandtown, they didn't have a vested interest in
There
Sandtown.
you go, Jai. I agree 100%. I'm only saying the concept was good. The process,
Yeah,
the way
I
they
agree. The
instituted it
concept was
bad.
good.
Yeah,
The whole revitalization process was
there you go.
good.
Because
It
we
was
all
good.
built that. If you remember, Jai, the whole community put that plan together
Yeah.
and sold it to the powers that be. They came back and they knocked us out because they didn't think that because we was really from the community that we counted like that. We was
Right.
used.
Right, because and they took the cash.
Yeah.
Every piece that had a link to cash,
Yeah.
they made sure they had it covered.
There you go, Jai. They controlled
and
it.
channel it back to where they could
Exactly.
benefit from it.
Exactly.
Because the substance abuse thing that was supposed to be for Sandtown, and I went to Detroit and spoke with the Kellogg Foundation.
There you go.
They gave a big chunk.
There you go, Jai.
$1,000. But then when the money came, they used it after they blew
There you go.
almost half of it. They happened to be able to pull in the director of the Baltimore City Health Department, who didn't want the city of Baltimore to get a black eye because this $300,000 had been more or less pocketed.
Now, Jai, let's go back, all the way back. Remember when Kathy Johnson was heading to Baltimore? No, the Sandtown development thing. She was doing houses in Sandtown. Do you remember Kathy Robinson?
No.
She was heading the effort and building housing, right? So anyway, let me tell you how they worked this. Here's how the deal was. Because Kathy lives in the community, understood real estate, and started her own company, they was going to bring on what we call the 500 plan. Remember, all the houses in Sandtown was called the 500. Here's what they did. They gave Kathy a little bit of houses, and they gave the bulk of that money to this white lady that did this Nehemiah project. Now, Jai, had we switched that and had we gave all that money to Kathy Robinson, who's representing the community, our problems would be solved. See, they worked us, man. They worked us. And that's the lesson learned from the empowerment zone.
Well,
if
that was able to be worked down, then it went down before the community actually ever became a viable partner. They had only a few people at the table that they knew they could buy off.
Yeah, well, that's the unfortunate thing about it, man. And that's always in our black communities.
You know,
always, man.
No, this was a decision made by, had to have been the mayor's office and the Enterprise Foundation.
It was made by Enterprise. Here's what the deal was. When Enterprise came into Sandtown, the deal was this. How do we rebuild a neighborhood and make money? So the idea was, look, well, let's do the vacant houses. That's how we make our houses. And then they say, well, okay, and we're bringing funds from different entities to provide the social program. Well, that money started to dry up for social programs. So they say, forget that. We're going on making money as it relates to us getting what we need to get. Now, that's why I'm saying the West Tampa project, and Jai, I want to send you a link to that, shows how we can change all that. How actually the community can control all that.
No, listen to me, Mike. It started at the mayor's office.
No, I'm not disputing
okay.
what happened. I'm talking about how can we do it now, today? How can we use that same concept, come back to Sandtown and change it all? And I'm saying the West Tampa program shows how we can do it.
Yeah, and another thing that needs to go out there, we must get residents politically involved.
Oh yeah, that's important. That becomes part of education.
To hold these politicians accountable.
That becomes part of education.
Yeah, I mean, because these politicians are making decisions and smiling and grinning in residents' face when they shake their hands at election time.
Yeah,
hey, Jerry, you brought to my mind. You reminded me that since Smoke, we've not had a mayor who's had interest in helping Sandtown.
That's right.
Not one.
That's
Matter
right.
of fact, they told me in private conversations, Sandtown could not be helped.
And that's the
and
problem.
And if I'm wrong, am I where you belong?
I can base that on a simple fact that there is no community coordination inside of Sandtown. There are no community leaders that stand out that is really trying to, from a social perspective, improve on any particular pocket inside Sandtown.
And why aren't they interested? Dorothy asked, why aren't they interested in Sandtown?
Because we live in a society now that is all about the Benjamins. You know, they measure leadership by how much you have obtained materialistically or how big is your paycheck. Those are the people they snatch up and throw in your neighborhood and say, this is your leader.
So, Jerry,
don't even live there.
I got one important question. Can you tell me why Sandtown is historic?
Oh, Sandtown's historic because of a lot of firsts. Sandtown, as early as the 20th century, around 1908, used to be a German community. And in about the after the Roaring '20s, Black people started channeling into that community. Coppin State College started in Sandtown. Coppin State University started in Sandtown.
You know, that was my biggest disappointment during the Sheila Dixon administration. Our community center was given to Sharfstein, and Sharfstein flipped our community center into a damn homeless shelter. I will never forget that.
Yeah, and our recreation centers, they turned over to the police department. And they made them PAL centers, and the police would buddy up to the small children and try to get them to tell on who was selling drugs on the corner. You know, is that your brother or your cousin that's out there? Because I always see y'all together and whatnot. Is that your cousin or your brother and whatnot? Where he getting his drugs from? So that was the objective of the PAL program. Police officers come in, buddy up to the kids, and then try to see if they could solicit information from the kids about the older guys that was dealing drugs.
And the bad kids couldn't go or didn't want to go into the PAL center. And I'm not saying bad kids, but kids that...
Because it changed. There was no trust in it no more. Once they removed the Baltimore Recreation Center from out of the Highland Park community and the Sandtown community and Betlow, that means that place for kids to go at and have recreation after school and on the weekend in a controlled environment didn't exist. So our kids didn't have no place to go but to the corners.
And on that note, we got to say a shout out in heaven to Dee Dee. You know, Dee Dee went home. Dee Dee went home about 3 months ago.
I got that information a week after. You know, I missed that. That was a good brother.
Yep.
That was a good brother. That was a brother who operated from the heart. But you know what? That is one of the factors that always seem to get hold of people who end up coming into Sandtown. That the people there will just attach to you, you know, and you feel welcome, loved, and cared for, you know. So
Okay.
that's a neighborhood that although your objective is to see what you can do to change it, it changes you.
So can I offer some final thoughts?
Yes, Mr. Randolph.
Oh, and Miss Dorothy, Habitat for Humanity is still in place. It's just that they're moving on a smaller scale. Miss Donnie, what's Laverne's last name? Because I heard she just got married.
Stokes. Stokes.
Didn't she just get married? Or she
Stokes.
just got engaged?
Stokes.
Yeah, but did she get
Right.
married? Oh, she kept her name, Stokes?
I thought her name before was Laverne Cooper.
No, I think it was Stokes.
It was Stokes before.
Yeah.
She married Al Stokes. That's who she's married to now.
Okay, then she was Cooper before. Yeah, because Bubby's last name was Cooper. Yeah, Bubby, and I seen one of her sisters. I seen two of her sisters, Yvette and Bertina.
So, for those who are just tuning in, Sandtown did have a kickoff Monday online for the master plan. It's between Sandtown, Winchester, and Harlem Park. As a result of that meeting, it had about 88 people on the call. I felt it was important to have a show like this, and we will do as many more as we need to ensure that the indigenous perspective is shared. A lot of times, as we have seen in the past, you have people from other communities that want to come in and share their ideas, when in fact who knows what they've done in their own community.
Did the senator participate?
I don't think the senator. I think Councilman John Bullock was on the call, but no state senator. I have been in a private call with them, and he will be. You know, they just finished up the session. I didn't want to bum rush him. I wanted them to get through, you know, let them have a weekend, but we will be on them Monday morning, and there will be more to come. That I can, especially with the guidance and wisdom of a Jerry Cross and a Michael Randolph, we will do this bigger and better.
You know what I would like to see first and foremost as you move forward. I would like to see a document drawn up based on upfront honesty, being transparent, that you sit down with the community and whatnot, put it in writing for us that whatever backroom decisions or suggestions the movers and shakers choose to engage in, if you come and sit down at this meeting, sign this document saying you will divulge any actions that you plan to bring forth with changes in the economic,
Real estate,
financial, social, and health aspects of this community.
what I can assure you is anything I find out, I'm gonna call you right away.
So there's some quick ending comments. So let's talk about Sandtown versus West Tampa. Sandtown.
We don't
Hold
know
on,
much about.
Hold on. Dom, you want to see the connection?
No, Mike.
Mike,
We
we
stand
don't
in
know
the
What
about-
am I saying? What
See,
am
we
I
don't
saying?
know enough
Sandtown.
about
Okay, okay. Let me say, Sandtown has the potential to actually control everything. You can turn that ship all around. You can, because basically the same demographics, just for different cities. So we know that. Donald, you can turn it around. But all talks about education. You have to have the knowledge. And I want to be part of that, man, because that's my community, man. See, all my family is Sandtown. All my family is Sandtown. When I married him, my wife, she passed, right? So everything I got is connected to Sandtown. As a matter of fact, you know Dante Boxell. He and I hooked up on Facebook. He seen what I was doing. He said, Mike, with your ideas, work with me to start the nonprofit. And unfortunately, he passed away before then. But I'm working with his people to make that a reality because we know Baltimore is the best city. We just have to know how to make it the best city by controlling it and not let the forces control it, but we control it. That's how we do it.
That's a great final word. Gentlemen, I want you to have a splendid Saturday afternoon. Thank you for taking time out. And Jerry, thank you for showing the world your tummy. Have a beautiful day.
That's not right.
And stay beautiful.
Who the hell that man, right?